Once again, you already know what it is, and you already know where you have reached the number one up-and-coming professional wrestling collaborative podcast anywhere in the world. My name is Sean Hubbard, representing that Hubbard Wrestling Weekly. His name is Conrad Cushman, representing that EPW. And collectively, we are Clash of the By God podcast. You may notice the gear, the sunglasses today, the background. I'm rocking all black for my Knicks. If it's good enough for Jalen Brunson, and if it's good enough for Josh Hart, it's good enough for me, man. They're rocking all black for the first round. I'm rocking all black for the first round. We got to win tonight. I'm not going to make the whole show about the Knicks, but I promise you, Conrad, if this wasn't a wrestling show and if I didn't have love for you and these fans and these wonderful listeners, I would be talking about the Knicks all night long because the Knicks got game 2 in the Garden tonight. I'm rocking the shades and the black hoodie for my Knicks. If it's good enough for the Knicks, it's good enough for me, but we're not going to take too much time. You already know what it is. This is Clash of the Podcast. We're talking about AEW Dynasty. We're talking about the WWE Draft. We're talking about It's Just Me, Uso, the number one contender, Jey Uso, and so much more. So on behalf of my brother Conrad, my name is Sean, and there's only one thing left to say. Conrad, my guy, drop that thing.
Welcome, everyone. It is you getting Sean in full effect here, playoff Sean. So you know it's turned up.
I'm not that guy. I don't wear sunglasses indoors, but if it's good enough for Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart, it's good enough for me.
hey, let it rock. Let it rock. We're gonna get into some shout outs. We got lots to talk about tonight in the world of pro wrestling. Lots of good, lots of what are you doing here, and lots of okay.
Exactly.
So we're going to get into all of this. Yes,
sir.
Jumping straight to the top, though, I saw this before we just started recording live. Joel comes in, Conrad and Sean. Can't wait to hear about Dynasty.
Yeah, great show. They did their thing last night.
Yes. Thank you, Joel, for the $2 super chat. We greatly appreciate it. And feel free, man. Send us over some bread, man. Me and Sean could use it. I haven't gotten the checks yet, but once they finally get in the ride, maybe we can split some of this money up and do something with it.
100.
I don't know what, but make it worth our time. But thank you guys for all the donations and support. Yes. Let's start up here at the top again. Dougie Fresh, first one in here. He said another Monday.
Teach me how to Dougie.
Another Monday, another clash. Some great matches last night. Raw is localish to me tonight, but I've got to pass on this one.
Oh wow! Okay.
I think I saw something in the chat about him feeling a little. He's too good for certain seats. He said he's got to be in it.
Pardonnez-moi.
Yeah. Well, I get it though. I'm not paying for no.
No. I'm joking. I feel you too.
Who are them ants wrestling?
No doubt. I feel you.
Terrell 317.
What up, T3Z? What's going on?
He says prayers to Daniel Bryan. Hope he's okay. We're gonna get into that. Also, me and my sister will be in attendance for AEW versus New Japan at USB Arena in Belmont. Beautiful. Let's go. Listen, I went to Forbidden Door last year. It was a fun show. I enjoyed it. He's the only Vinny
we like or recognize. Vinny, what up, though? He says, hey, guys, happy Monday. God bless y'all, as always. Happy Monday to you, too, Vinny. The only Vinny we like.
That's what's up. Terrell, salute to you as well, bro. Thank you.
Man. T3Z, what up, though?
Vinny also.
Go right ahead, bro.
No.
All right. The only Vinny we like says, debating to go to Raw tonight. Do I go? ? They never have big names like Roman and Cody at Columbus, Ohio shows, unfortunately. I don't know why that is. I remember back in the day, The Rock came out there and was like, you are an a-hole. You are an a-hole. That was back in the day when they did the Ohio State thing. But I don't know. Cody and Roman you knew wasn't going to be there, but I hear Cody is still overseas.
Listen, I'm from a territory similar to that for wrestling shows, and Buffalo. See, who said they're going? Terrell's going to Forbidden Door. Guess who's got Dynamite the week before? Me. We just got tickets for it. Tickets weren't that bad either, for the record. I see people like, oh my goodness, I can't believe how much money it costs to go to AEW. I'm like, it wasn't that bad, bro. But
Deanna, I see you. I see you, Deanna.
We're coming in, I promise. Yeah. But back in the day, knowing Sean was getting Raw at the Garden meant Sean was getting a big show. And you know what I was getting? I was getting a lame show. I was going to get something where it was like The Rock versus Bubba Ray Dudley in the main event of Monday Night Raw tonight. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Really? But them's the breaks. Let's see here. Mike says, I swerve when I drive. New AEW swerve. He says, say it with your chest 3 times. Let's go.
Let's go.
Appreciate you, Mike from The Rock, always in here. Ray in the house. Ray says, happy Monday, guys. Hope everyone had a great weekend. I thought Dynasty was an awesome pay-per-view, giving it an A- despite the boring middle portion of the show. I might have to argue with you on that, depending on what we're talking about here.
Not a bad rating.
Quilly. Sir Quills. I'm starting to pick up on your nicknames.
There you go.
What up, Conrad? Sean in the chat. Your boy Sir Quills is back to enjoy my 2 favorite bros, CJ and Hubs, for the episode 86, the Dalton Kincaid edition of the best wrestling podcast today, Clash of the Podcast.
Not bod.
He's bringing up Rebellion and Dice, who are both soft 8 out of 10 shows overall. Variety of wrestling over the weekend.
Yeah, no doubt.
Clown says afternoon, everyone. What's up, Clown?
Afternoon to you too, my guy.
Appreciate you. There's Doug's thing here. He just said he's an hour away, not paying for no ticket to sit up high. I feel you, bro.
I get it. Maybe I'm a little spoiled with the Garden because there's no such thing as bad seats at the Garden.
Yeah. I guess it all depends. Deanna, here we are. We finally reached you. Deanna yelling, Hubs.
What up? Appreciate you, D. Appreciate you.
What's good, Deanna? One of the ladies in the chat. Always show respect to the ladies in the chat. BJ, what's up, everyone? Hope you had a good Monday and quite an awesome weekend of wrestling, minus Chris Jericho. But I suppose you could just tell me to cry you a river when it comes to that. JR cowboy hat. You know what that cowboy hat means. You cut it out.
M. Leezy Fo Sheezy. Hello. Good evening. Hope everyone is doing well. Let's kick off our week with the 2 best in our pro wrestling community, and let's go Knicks. M. Leezy, let's go!
I feel like you two are part of. I'm going to go back and watch that video where the fans are just yelling crazy things to that reporter.
I'm glad you brought that up. We shouldn't be celebrating in the streets after winning 1 game. We gotta calm down.
Listen, I was there for Eddie Curry. I've been there for some bad moves. It's all right for y'all to celebrate a little.
My God. I was excited too, but I saw the fans on 34th Street. I'm like, oh my God.
Listen, I'm a big fan of the Buffalo Bills, and for a long time, we did not make the playoffs. I think it was old enough to drive, like 16 years, something like that, right? Mm-hmm. My only goal was, first thing, just make the playoffs. Now we're past that. That's goal 1. Just make the playoffs. That's all I need you to do. Just get there. 100. You can lose. 100. And now we're here. Let's let the Knicks build upon this. It looks like they're starting to build up a team. They got something rolling here.
And you know what the sad part is, Conrad? I'm going to take 3 minutes and say this. The Knicks are not good enough to win an NBA championship this year. It's just not. It's not their year. I mean, anything can happen. Like, believe me, every game they play, I'm gonna be cheering my butt off for them. But the Boston Celtics are a juggernaut. But to me, after you win 50 games, and chat, let me know what you think. After you win 50 games and are the number 2 seed, you have to win the first round. If you lose in the first round after winning 50 games and are the number 2 seed, like this season was a failure. So that's kind of my thing. I want us to start building. I want us to start building into the future.
Never forget the Supersonics versus Nuggets for my basketball.
Oh, sweet God. Don't remind me of that.
Just got to let you know. My man, Sean Kemp, man. That was my guy.
I like Sean Kemp and Gary Payton. You're right.
Yeah. Anthony Slate in the chat says, hey, what's good?
What up, man?
XG Dub talking about New York Knicks.
XG Dub. XG Dub. What up, though?
What's good? Let's see here. The goats go Nuggets. Connor says
The Nuggets are the favorites, but then again, like I said, the Celtics. I don't like the Celtics. The Celtics are looking unstoppable, man. Yeah, there you go.
That's Rob's team right there. He loves
the Celtics. Are looking unstoppable, Rob and chat. They are looking unstoppable.
They should do what they should have done for a couple years now. They should do something here.
Yeah, you know.
McKinney was good. He said, yo, here to talk wrestling with the Fire Live chat and the American Alpha of Podcasts, Clash of the Podcast. And let y'all know, I'll have a quote next week. My brain is still fried from Saturday.
Oh, man, I hear that, brother.
Yo, Eric Douglas in the house. He said, whose house? What up, Eric? What's good, man? Welcome.
No doubt, Eric.
In honor of the new champ, hits the dance. I swerve when I drive. Swerve when I drive. I love it. Yes, tonight is Passover. What is good, Joel? Yes, that's right. For anyone celebrating, wish you guys a happy Passover.
Enjoy.
E in the house saying, hey, yo.
What up, E?
Hubs, the Billy Goat. He's a monster. We were talking yesterday about you, Hubs.
Uh-oh. Okay.
No. He was giving you your props for something you say all the time.
Oh,
More
really?
on that later.
All right. I appreciate it.
Donnie, what's good? Showing love for Clash of the Podcast, professional wrestling. Appreciate you both. Fire. What's good, Donnie?
Appreciate you too, Donnie. Thank you so much.
That's right. Got you a ticket too. Better be there.
There you go.
Don't let me down. Don't let me down. There we go. We got some shalom in the chat. Let's go. Appreciate it.
There you go.
Hubs, it was Penn State, not Ohio State.
Quilly, you're right. It was both, though. I'm going to DM you the episode. Penn State, we are Penn State, but they did OHIO, and Rock did it again. Trust me on this.
Ohio was a beast back when we were in high school, I think.
That's what I'm trying to say. But Quilly is talking specifically about the UR. And
yeah.
They did it at Penn State, but they did it again at OHIO. Trust me, Quilly. I got you.
Gomar, what's good? He says, hi, how's it going? Going well, sir.
Gomar, we appreciate you being here, man.
Let's see. I'm just seeing if I've missed.
That is lit tonight, man. I maybe the Knicks are going to win the championship or something.
Jocelyn's watching us on Twitter, which you can all also do as well. We're looking for those likes. If you haven't, hit the like button. If you're watching on Twitter, please come over to YouTube. Give me a subscribe. Sean stuff's down in the description box below. And I got this little cool thing where I can just put stuff in the chat. Boom. His link's about to pop up in the chat. Go over and subscribe to Hubbard Wrestling Weekly. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it.
Jocelyn, what a classy lady you are. I see how you conduct yourself on social media. Very classy.
You know where else you can catch Jocelyn? Jocelyn, me, and E, we go off in the Discord, the Everything Pro Wrestling Discord. Good place. When Sean does his specials, I post it in there. So come on in. Nice. I got sections for wrestling for people who want to talk wrestling. I got a section for Marigold fans, and that's a new promotion. I made one for TNA. I got one. You name the promotion, I got it. AAA, CMLL, whatever you want to talk wrestling, come in there. Video games, whatever it is, man. Show off your figures.
By the way, we got your summer schedule all locked in on Hubbard Wrestling Weekly, bro.
It is locked down.
Yeah.
Money in the Bank and SummerSlam are booked.
Yes, sir.
Be ready.
Yes, sir. We're not playing no games.
And
that will be those two will be Clash of the Podcast productions.
Let me see here. Everyone's going.
I'm feeling good tonight, man. I'm feeling like the energy, the chat, you, me. I'm feeling it.
We got people talking Bills. I see Nick stuff in here.
Yeah, man.
Listen, we got a lot to get into. We do.
We can't have we'll just have fun tonight. We got to talk about some business, and you're gonna be surprised. I see you down there, Mike. You're gonna be surprised about my take on Mr. Jack Perry.
All right,
you're gonna be surprised because it's my job to be objective, Conrad.
Now, usually, I'm not going to lie, we start the show off with WWE, but we're going to save WWE for the second half, I think. Let's start with Dynasty. It's The Rock. Dynasty, we're 0 hour. Now, I didn't take a lot of notes on the show, but I did watch on Triller TV. I don't know where you decided to watch, Sean.
I watched it on Triller TV. There's nowhere else to watch.
See, there you go. You know what else Triller TV has coming up here? Let me check my notes out here. Let me put on the old spectacles.
There you go.
Triple Mania is happening this Saturday on Triller TV. They have a great 3-show bundle that can save you some money. So if you're a fan of AAA, I love AAA, head on over, get the bundle, and you can watch all the shows this weekend. It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. Let's get into this review, though. So AEW Dynasty, we watched it on Triller. Dynasty 0 Hour, hosted by Renee Paquette and RJ City. RJ City is a charmer. I really enjoy his work with the wrestlers. For those who don't watch RJ, you're getting a free plug right here. Hey EW comes on every Sunday, and it's kind of one of those things that I always try to catch. It's like a 12-minute video, but it's basically him. How do I want to put this? With you basically doing like improv the entire time with him. So it works. It works. So just make sure that you show RJ a little love here, man. Let's go. So Dynasty 0 Hour. We have let's start with Trent Beretta. The first match was Trent Beretta versus Matt Sydal. I believe this is Matt Sydal's hometown. Sean, quick thoughts on this? Anything?
I think that featuring Trent Beretta in a singles match on a night of this magnitude, considering the recent heel turn, was the right thing to do. And I also think it was the right thing to do for him to come out victorious. So I have no issues with this. I mean, Matt Sydal losing in his hometown, that kind of sucks. But other than that, you know, you got to put over Trent Beretta because Trent Beretta just had the big heel turn, and you know it's going to be him versus Orange coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, most definitely. I don't know where this is going. He kind of told Chuck Taylor he's going to have to make a decision by Dynamite. So more on that on Wednesday, where you can watch live here on EPW 10:10 Eastern Standard Time with me and Hub's guy Derek. So make sure you guys
there you go. There you go.
All right. See, I'm stealing all the catchphrases tonight.
You're feeling good tonight too, man. Are you a Knicks fan?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I like the Knicks.
Let's go.
It's hard, but I like them.
Oh boy, it's hard already.
Orange Cassidy and Katsuyori Shibata versus Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. I want to say this. I really, really like Shane Taylor Promotions. And you know what would make people really like them more? If they won once in a while.
There you go.
They've been getting some wins here and there, but you got to get these guys on some type of streak or do something with them. You just put Anthony Ogogo with them, and they're still not picking up the dubs that some people may feel like they should. And if it's not going to be on Dynamite, put them on ROH. Make them a big act over there.
Right.
You have two brands. Take advantage of it. But Orange Cassidy and Shibata get the win. I really don't have too much more to say about it.
Same thing I was saying about Trent Beretta. As much as I like, and I agree, I like Shane Taylor promotions as well, but you can't have Orange Cassidy lose a match, you know, when he's in the middle of this. You know, they're trying to build up Beretta versus Orange, you know, with Chuck Taylor in the mix. So it's kind of like, how can you have, you know, Orange Cassidy and Shibata lose when Trent Beretta won? They have to keep the momentum going. So it was almost a foregone conclusion in my mind. After Trent Beretta won his match, I knew that Cassidy was going to win his.
Yeah. It just made sense to do that.
The problem is that when you do it on pay-per-view, even if it is 0 Hour or the pre-show, the problem is it's just like when you have two main event guys fighting on your weekly television show the week before the pay-per-view. You know both guys are going to win, right? So, but I wouldn't do that on a pay-per-view. That's the unfortunate part. It's like you don't want predictable. Oh, here we go about predictable, right, Conrad? You don't want predictable outcomes on pay-per-views.
I view this is a great way to just get people to watch.
Okay.
From the initial standpoint. But I always say this. I'm going to bring this up because this was the main event of 0 Hour. It was the acclaimed title for titles against Bullet Club Gold, the ROH 6-man tag champs versus the AEW Trios champs. This made a lot of sense to do this match. This has been a feud for a long time. Billy Gunn and his sons on opposite ends, building this all up. But I've always wanted AEW to do this.
Give yourself some credit. Give yourself some credit, or I will.
Listen, let me get this point out.
Yeah.
You have these guys going at it, right? If you're having a hot match for the final match before you start the show, why not have it go over?
You could, right?
5 to 7 minutes, and someone's like, "Hey, man, that was a really good match. What happened?" Got to order the show to see the rest of it.
Right.
You better hurry up.
Right.
Hurry up. Do you want to see it or not?
We're live on pay-per-view.
Cut it off on YouTube.
Yep.
Chop it down, and you just go right in and say order it. I always wanted someone to do that, but Bullet Club Gold win in what I thought was the right call in this one. I'll kick it to you.
Give yourself some credit. You said the unification of the 6-man titles were going to happen a long time ago, and you were 100% correct. That being said, I hate what I'm about to say. Man, have the Acclaim cooled off.
Something seems off with them, though. But where do you think the hatred, and this is for the chat too, where is the hatred for Max Caster coming from? Because some of it seems very odd. Some people are like, "Oh, I'm tired of his raps. It's corny. His shtick is corny now." Is it because he's a baby face? Does he feel limited in what he could say? Because he was saying some pretty wild things yesterday too. And you have to expect that with like a hip hop gimmick, I feel too. Like he's.
You're the MC. Like
no, that's what I'm saying. Yo,
he did his thing last night, in my opinion.
If you've ever heard the stuff that I used to say, I would be gone off this platform.
Right.
Like stuff that I would say that was just relating back to news things that were timely at the time. You will say anything to get the people to ooh and ah to pay attention to me right now.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. But I don't know if you're not going to be able to handle that, then you shouldn't have a hip hop gimmick on your television programming. Is the best way to put it.
100. I couldn't agree with you more.
Let me see here. McKinney says, I like Trent. He has to change his look so his heel turn is credible, but he looks like an angry best friend who needs a hug. I don't know how much more he could change his look. I don't think he can grow the long hair out anymore. So I think Trent might be Trent unless he switches his trunks or something.
Hey, listen, sunglasses always work.
That is true. E letting y'all know that AEW drops Sunday mornings at 7 a.m. Appreciate it. Look at that. He's also got more shows than that. Good stuff. I'm just looking here. Quill said we all knew Bullet Club Gold would beat the Acclaim for the trios titles. Listen, I'm just glad that they made the right call because I thought Bullet Club Gold needed to win more.
Well, aren't they the Bang Bang Gang now? Like they don't even call themselves Bullet Club Gold anymore.
Yeah. Listen, I'll take it. I
guess.
BJ says, I think Max was doing stuff on Twitter a while back, drawing a lot of heat and turning fans into haters. Not sure that's what he intended, but that's what happened. It's just weird that your Twitter makes you hated. So should they be listening to the Twitter audience more or less or try to get away from having that audience? You know what I mean? It's just a lot of questions, I guess.
I know exactly what you mean, bro. You're making a lot of sense.
I think Caster, and he appears on Wrestling Open and on Thursday on IWTV from time to time. He's great there as a heel. Rob says, I think he feels creatively stifled from being held back as a face. His raps have been extremely trash lately, minus yesterday. Turn him heel. He's already super hateable.
He's super hateable. What do you hate about him? I hate your face.
Yo, I feel that way about Grayson Waller. I'm not going to lie. There's certain people I'm like, I don't like you. I think that was the whole weird interaction with him and MJF, and could have been that. Maybe change your moveset. Heels work differently. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
That's a fact, Deanna. I mean, but at the same time, as much as I agree with you, Deanna, it's not really that much of a change. Like a couple of eye gouges here, a low blow there.
I think it works better as a heel gimmick, but we're starting from the top of this card. I thought they put together a nice card here, AEW. Very happy.
They didn't. This show was trash. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's not front.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
This might be AEW's greatest opener. I'm here to listen for arguments if someone thinks something different. Maybe I'm overlooking something that was a great opener match, but this was a banger, certified. Kazuchika Okada versus Pac for the AEW Continental Championship. Sean, I took small little notes. I don't know if you did, but I just put tremendous opener. Worried about Pac losing after he ate those knees to the face after the Black Arrow. So he missed the Black Arrow, and then he went for it again and got the knees up. And I thought his chin just looked like, it ate it. That Rainmaker looked pretty good that day on Pac. I'm telling you, it's who takes it. And he took it like a champ. Okada wins, man, but I thought it was a fun opener.
Well, I have some notes for you. I'm going to look over at my note computer. Rainmaker was legit this time. Those are my notes. He hit that Rainmaker. That was Pop did his thing on receiving that.
Yo, by the way, not only that, but did he not get you with the old New Japan thing where they do the zoom out? He does it, and instead he goes, and then gives everyone the bird in the crowd. And I was
that
like,
was smooth.
Wow.
That was smooth.
He's a heel. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, you're hurting my feelings.
Okada did his thing. Pac did his thing. I mean, just my God. I mean, and I'll be saying this again, talking about other matches during this card. Just be careful, man. It seemed like they were giving each other some stiff punishment, man.
Yeah, they were just
brutalizing each other.
Bruh, that's that strong style, but maybe that's how when you get in there with Okada, that's how it's going to be. Like, you better get ready.
Which is why, don't fight me on this, AEW is the best in-ring product in the United States.
1,000%. 1,000%. In-ring, I don't think anyone's touching them. Close. Nope. They got Okada on the opener. One small step from Sunday Night Heat. Gato sees something. Cut it out, E.
Listen, I feel you, but listen, always remember, either if you're not going to close the show, opening the show is arguably the best spot on the card.
Nowadays, back when we were growing up, it wasn't always like that. It used to be I want to be second last then, but now it's like, nah, put me on first.
Until a young man by the name of Owen Hart stole everybody's hearts and show.
Woo!
Yes.
Jocelyn says Okada is the best for a reason.
I hear that.
Let's go into the next match, which this one was a surprising banger to me. The trios match. I shouldn't say a banger. This was really good, I thought, though. Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, Mark Briscoe, all holding separate titles. Copeland, the TNT champ, Eddie Kingston, the New Japan Strong champ, and Mark Briscoe, the Ring of Honor champ, versus the House of Black. Sean, I got one wrong, and this is one of the ones that I was like, what? I was wrong? And House of Black pulled out the dub.
Good match, and tremendous job by AEW decision makers to have the right team win, because that sets up not one, not two, but three potential title matches down the line. But
and elongates stories for them. Now Malachi could say, because he pinned Adam Copeland, I want a TNT title shot. He's got it. You also had him get hit with the Black Mist. Do you use that, Sean, to your leverage for a turn, maybe?
Absolutely.
Happening.
Absolutely. There's so much stuff that came out of that match. Emily said it was fun. I agree. It was one of those matches you look back and you say, you know what, they got this right because A, the story was told properly, like you said, and B, the in-ring action was enough to support the story that was being told. So many times the story is being told, but the in-ring action does not support it. You have 6 world-class athletes. Obviously, Edge is on his last legs, but he's still a really top-tier competitor. And the House of Black deserve more shine, man. They really are a great team and great individual competitors as well.
I'm not upset with it. Like I said, I was pretty happy that they did that. Hubs, I think this is going to be one of those it'll happen down the line thing. I know some people get hit with the miss and they turn quicker than some, but AEW seems to make it wait. It's gotta seep into your veins. It's got to get into your blood before it happens. It may take 6 months. It may take 3, but it will eventually. Is this where you put Adam Copeland and Christian Cage back together? That's what I think will be the end result from this.
Big shout out to my girl who's a trained chef. Some things you flash fire and some things you just let simmer.
Ooh, McKinney, that could be your quote. Write that down for you. Put that in the book. I like that. McKinney says AEW is fire when it comes to pay-per-views. Its weekly TV is meh. They have to translate 4 hours of pay-per-view into their 5 hours of TV. I don't think you're wrong, but then that makes me ask, what do you want from the television show?
Right.
Because we just talked about storytelling. Storytelling's being done. It's just not being done the same way past companies, I'll just say, have done it. And Sean knows I'll go on my WWE brain rant where I think people just want to see it. It's been 20 years since we've had an alternative. So you're just like, that's the way things are done.
Right.
Luckily for me, Sean, and some of the older cats in here, man, I remember how Barry Windham and Dustin Rhodes won the tag titles. I remember the stories. I remember Ricky Steamboat and Shane Douglas versus the Hollywood Blondes. You don't have to have stories like that. shout out to Pillman and Austin. Why'd they break them up, man?
Because they were idiots. That's why WCW's out of business.
That was a big mistake.
Let's break up the hottest tag team in the freaking industry. Morons. Golly, they were stupid.
Normally I cut Sean off, but I gotta let him rock on that. Like, come on.
Oh, man.
Come on. Match 3.
Oh,
TBS
baby.
Championship. Julia Hart versus Willow Nightingale. For those who didn't know, Julia Hart was rumored to have some type of shoulder injury going into this.
Oh, I'm not celebrating shoulder injuries.
No, but we will celebrate Willow winning for a second, though. If we can hit a happy dance. Bow, bow. Willow Nightingale picks up the win. Dr. Bomb for the win. I was very proud of that. And she crushed it.
That young lady, Julia Hart's amazing, by the way. Let me start by saying that. That young lady, talking about Willow Nightingale, is such an underrated phenomenon. That girl is so talented, and I am so impressed with her. And I love the fact that woman got her flowers, man. That woman got her flowers, and it was a massive victory for her. But I'll tell you what I didn't like. I didn't like Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné coming out and stealing her thunder. I mean, I know that was purposeful because they're trying to build up the match for Double or Nothing. And obviously, we're talking like we're mature, grown men and women, adults that understand this is a business. So obviously, Mercedes didn't go into business for herself. She was sent out there. You don't send out Mercedes Moné during, in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, Willow Nightingale's biggest crowning achievement of her career.
I'm okay with it.
Okay, because I'm going to tell you something right here and now. Mercedes Moné is starting to get on my damn nerves.
I think this works, but for different reasons. I think a lot of stuff's about to happen in between now and Double or Nothing, especially concerning this story.
Well, they need to turn her heel because she's not really convincing as a babyface right now.
You ready for the hot take right now?
Nerves. Give it to me.
You ready for the hot take right now? Willow's celebration was interrupted for a reason. Mercedes doesn't like Willow, going back to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Mercedes was supposed to win that night, for people who don't know. Mercedes was going to win. Hold on. Hear me out. So she blames Willow for why she hasn't been able to get in the ring. Okay, she was in the ring with her. I can work with this. And now she's like, I'm coming back to show everyone why I can beat you. Mm-hmm. There's 2 people in the background, though, that are going to play a big part in this. Chris Statlander. Remember what I just said about getting hit with the mist and how long it takes for it to seep in? I think that Chris Statlander possibly could turn on Willow. That makes Stokely want to leave. And I say you put Stokely with Mercedes. It fits a lot better. I think Stokely can talk for Mercedes, even as a heel. Put them together. It cuts her talking down in half. And I think it'll work a lot better. Moné as a heel is much better. And I think that's where they're going with this.
Can I give you a WWE and, yes, a Jey Uso analogy?
Oh, no.
It's not going to be anything crazy. What we saw last night was the equivalent of Jey Uso beating Damian Priest at Backlash. And before he can even, it's just me, Uso, here comes somebody else kicking him in the face. To me, Willow Nightingale deserved pyrotechnics. She deserved streamers. She deserved her moment to be in the sun. That was the biggest moment of her career. Decision makers have to be smarter, like whether it's Tony Khan or anybody else on his team. You have to be smarter. Now, if your idea was to make it seem like Mercedes is a selfish person that wants the limelight, and okay, well, mission accomplished. But as Deanna was saying in the chat, couldn't you have done that on Dynamite? Like, Willow didn't have an opportunity even to celebrate.
I think they wanted an excuse to pull up the graphic that she's going to be wrestling her. Also, here's the weird thing with Mercedes. Mercedes is not going to wrestle a match until Double or Nothing. And I think it's because she's injured. That's my guess. She's not medically cleared yet, which I don't know why Tony debuted someone who wasn't medically cleared in March to only wait until May to have them wrestle. That's different. I don't understand it. I don't see why, but okay. Just different. But that we have our first Double or Nothing match announced. It's going to be Willow and Mercedes. And I thought they were having a heck of a match in New Japan when I watched it. So I like to see them get through it.
All I'm saying is that it bothers me because I like Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks, and they're forcing me to dislike her, and not in a classic heel good way. Mercedes Moné's starting to get on my nerves, bro. Like when I hear her music and I see her do that dance, she's starting to like bug me. Like it's like, yo, you're a cornball, and that's a shame because Mercedes Moné is super dope. But she's not coming across, and think about this before you answer, Conrad. And chat, let me know if you agree or disagree. Mercedes Moné is not coming across as like a good heel that's trying to stir it up. She's coming across as like this cornball, diva, Charlotte Flair kind of person. That's what I'm getting.
I'm kind of with what McKinney's saying here. I think she has to wrestle. AEW is a promotion more focused on wrestling and in-ring product, and a lot of people are just getting frustrated that she's not wrestling. It wasn't her choice to debut her. Y'all got to send that hate towards Tony Khan. Why did you debut someone in March if they weren't going to wrestle until the end of May? That's foolish. Stokely with Monet, let me cancel my Blue Chew because that's all the motivation I need. Cut it out.
Wow, E is out of control. I love it.
Wild. What up, John G? Andy, welcome. I see you also joining us. Hello.
John Jizzle.
What's good?
Andy, what up?
Tazzy's in the house. What's going on, party people? Hope everyone's doing well. What's good, Tazzy? Appreciate you. Yeah. Hubs, he said, Hubs, you gotta let it play out. We'll see what happens with that. I could be totally wrong from this. Maybe Statlander and them don't turn. Maybe
I'm just saying, like, she's starting to become an annoyance. Like when I hear that music, it's like I should be excited when I hear Mercedes Moné. Now it's kind of like, oh god, here we go again. She's getting very predictable as well. Deanna feels me on this. She's getting very predictable as well. The CEO music comes out. She saunters to the ring with a ridiculous hairdo and an evening gown. And she does that little stupid dance. And she lets the fans like sing along, but they're not really singing along. It's really like the background music.
I just feel for her a little bit. What can she do if she's hurt? What's she supposed to do? She's probably not supposed to be taking bumps, so
you know what happens when you are hurt and you still want to be on TV? You do what Kurt Angle and Stone Cold Steve Austin did. You can be entertaining and not wrestle. She's not doing this every week is not entertaining. And by the way, the fact that I know that dance is very bothersome to me. It really bothers me that I know this is what she does every week. And I know I'm doing it right because I see it I've seen it 8 times since she's been on TV 8 times. She comes out and she does it to the CEO chant. CEO, CEO. It's corny, bro. It's corny. And it's, you know what? And I'll take it a step further, Conrad, and then we can move on. It's not only corny, Conrad, it's beneath her.
She's got to get her feet wet. This is a different world.
You keep making excuses all you want, my brother, but I'm telling you it's beneath her. I'm telling you it's going to be a detriment.
The match, though.
It's a detriment to her character, Conrad.
But whose fault is that, though? Is it her fault?
Did I say it was? I didn't say it was her fault.
But you're saying she's being corny, so what do you want her to do on TV?
Well, she's being corny because they're telling her to go out there and do that. I'm not saying it's her fault. Just like I just said, you didn't hear me lead when I said before, like her coming out to steal Willow's thunder. That wasn't somebody sent her out there. I'm not saying that she's going into business for herself.
I just think that I don't get what else her character can do at this point. She's just going to have to do these face-to-face things. There's also the mystery assailant who attacked them, which
that's still up in the air.
About
right.
Who did it? We'll see. Like I said, maybe it'll turn out better. I think once she gets in the ring, that's her strong suit.
You think I'm bashing her? You know how I feel about Sasha Banks. I think she's unbelievable. I just think they're misusing her.
Maybe I'm getting mad because I saw in the chat, yo, listen, I don't want to hear none of that Charlotte stuff right now. I really don't. About Mercedes is injury prone and not good.
No, but I never said that.
No, I said in the chat. In the chat. Like, why is that even being said about her? Or, oh, she wasn't worth the money Tony paid for. She didn't up the ratings. What do you want? I don't understand why people aren't watching good wrestling. I don't. We're talking about this show. Haven't said anything about a bad match yet. And people are talking about it. Andy, we're gonna get to your question momentarily.
And by the way, saying she's injury prone doesn't really make much sense to me. How many times has she been out?
I'm tired of people saying. Everyone says that about CM Punk and everyone else, but then when me and E bring up, well, let's check how many times Bryan Danielson has been injured. I never hear people say that about him. Oh, that's different. Oh, okay. I got it, guys.
That's hypocritical. I agree.
Yeah, there's just a lot of people who do that stuff. And I'm not saying anything bad about him. Injuries happen. This isn't ballet either, you know what I mean? And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but that's the old line. Like, this isn't ballet. People get hurt. This is a rough business. Like, things happen.
I wanted to say something regarding Jocelyn's comment. I respect what you're saying, Jocelyn. Jocelyn says from a woman's standpoint, she's flashy, confident, and her presence is what women are drawn to. I hear you, but I got to give WWE credit. Sasha Banks was flashy. Sasha Banks had a presence, and Sasha Banks had a swag that women were drawn to. It was better than what we're seeing in this situation. Mercedes, what's her real Verando or whatever her name is? Vernado has been portrayed in a much better light on WWE television than she has thus far in AEW. That's all I'm saying. And I think she deserves better. That's my point.
They created that gimmick too.
I got you.
Not trying to give them too much here, but
I got you.
Here's the wrestling match of the night. If you're into the graps, this should be your match. AEW International Champion Roderick Strong versus Kyle O'Reilly, the best tag team in the Undisputed Era. I said it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, man. This was a solid wrestling match. I don't know if you got any other thoughts about it. I'll let you spoil who won that one.
Well, I'm very upset with you, and in real life upset with you because I put something up on my Instagram about this guy talking about Wardlow. And then you sent me something in my Twitter to make me take it down because it was very upsetting. Some real life stuff that happened. Anyway, I love the match. It was an excellent match between O'Reilly and Strong. They showed the world what they've been about for many years, which is two amazing in-ring competitors. Adam Cole coming out and walking to the ring was awesome and staring down Wardlow. Now, here's what I'm talking about. I put up a post on my Instagram that Wardlow's a big goof. And then 10 minutes later, Conrad DMs me and says, Wardlow was in a car accident and made me feel bad. So get well soon. Well, not get well soon. He's fine, but I'm glad everything worked out. God bless you, Wardlow. But from a character standpoint, all right? From a character standpoint, I do not see what people are enamored about when it comes to Wardlow. I will be honest with you. As amazing as the match was between Strong and O'Reilly, I am more intrigued about when and how Adam Cole is going to turn on Wardlow.
Yeah, you could definitely see that after the match. That was the real story here. Wardlow was in, I guess, a car accident. He posted that like a little after the match. I saw that and then I sent it to you, and I was like, "Yo, crazy." Like, this dude has bad luck right now, bro. Like, I don't know what else to say. He said, what did he say? Like, a devil's following me or a demon or something? He was just like...
He tugged on my heartstrings. He was like, the devil's after me, but God is still in control. Which to me, like taking my glasses off, to me, like that's always going to tug on my heartstrings. But it doesn't change the fact that he needs to revamp his character.
I think that's going to come, though, Sean, with him leaving out of this group. I think eventually he's going to cost everyone their titles.
Okay.
And that's the feud, and then he'll have a big match maybe with Adam Cole for the international title. I think that's where it'll go. He'll beat Roddy for the belts. He'll cost the ROH tag champs. Cole's eyes told the story, if you guys are paying attention.
Sure.
So that was the truth here. Quill says he's giving Strong and O'Reilly 8 out of 10. Very good, hard-hitting match between two great wrestlers as expected. Strong retained. Let me see here. Adam Cole can walk. Yeah, that was crazy, Andy, on the real. And who jumped in here? Anthony Blackwell, man. Shout out to you, brother. I appreciate you coming in. I know that you're another content creator in the space, so
Andy,
show him some love as well. BJ says, I think Wardlow is in one of the most unique situations when it comes to the AEW roster. I truly think he can do big things. Just so many waves of booking changes, it affected him maybe the most. Yeah, I think... Listen, I think in AEW, sometimes if you miss your chance, we talked about Mike Santana. By the way, he showed up at the TNA pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike Santana recently did an interview. They were supposed to be the tag team champs. It wasn't going to be Hangman and Kenny. It was going to be Proud and Powerful. But that didn't happen because he went back home to a funeral, and then they started changing plans because wrestling's moving without you. There's people there trying to, let me get the match. I'll do the match. Okay, well, we need the tag titles to switch. Okay, we'll do it. And then they told a whole nother story, which those belts became part of the story, and they probably held on to them too long. And then there was another chance they could have had them, and then something else happened. It's frustrating. I get it.
Frustrating indeed.
Good point, BJ. Excellent comment right there. Let's get into the next match. This is the match I think that has a lot of controversy surrounding it. I'm interested to hear Sean's thoughts. FTW Championship, Hook versus Lionheart Chris Jericho. This was kind of an ECW style match. Pinfalls, count anywhere, people going through tables, suplexes, trash can lids, FTW garbage cans, all that stuff. What'd you think of this one, Sean? Because fans were definitely chanting, "Go home, Jericho. Fozzy sucks." People are burnt on Jericho. My
take is simple as this: anybody who is a four-decade world champion, I will always have infinite respect for. Unfortunately, there has to come a time when being in the limelight has to cease. Like, for me, I've had difficulty, Conrad, chat, and talking a negative word about Jericho. I have so much respect and appreciation for Chris Jericho. The character changes that have made sense and have been good. The athleticism, the durability, the ability to reinvent himself. He's been top tier. And his AEW championship reign when he came over to AEW initially was not like a just, Lifetime Achievement Award title. To me, he was a legit AEW champion and carried that belt very well. But yeah, enough is enough. Last night was the first time I watched him and I was like, all right, Chris, and not only did you have to fight Hook, you won. He's the new FTW champion. It's like, I don't know. I think Jericho should transition into a new role. He should not be fighting for championships. I think his time has come, and that's not disrespecting him because I'm a big fan. But yeah, last night was rough to watch.
I will fully agree with you. I think the hardest part for Jericho, and this is going to be going towards a BJ kind of analogy, Chris Jericho needs breaks. That's what made his character so good. He took a little bit of a break, came back. And he's not reinventing himself. He's going backwards into I'm Lionheart Chris Jericho now.
Right.
The learning tree. Some people have even put a conspiracy together that all the people who didn't like Punk are doing Punk, anti-Punk storylines. I hope that's not true, because if that is, you're risking a lot on your own career to do something stupid. But whatever. They're trying to do these things. And Hook's the up-and-comer. And I find it funny that Hook had that NXT news saying, Hook's thinking about looking at NXT when his contract comes up, which, hey, I don't blame anybody. Take a look at what you want. I don't know, man. I don't know if
shout out to the intern.
Yes, he's somewhere down there. I don't know, man. I just don't. This match wasn't even on the card when we discussed it, Sean. It felt like it had to be squeezed in there. This match didn't need to be on the card, really.
And they gave it 16 minutes too.
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt it was unnecessary and it was kind of weird.
And he wins. I'm like, oh, but when I was cool with it until he won. I was like, oh man. I was like, he breaks the streak. I was like, oh no.
What was the streak?
Well, streak. I mean, he's lost. He's been very successful, and he lost. I don't think he's lost very often. Hook, I'm talking about.
No, Hook's been losing against main eventers, though. They kind of elevated him, and then they're kind of letting him know, you ain't ready for this yet.
Okay, well, I mean, I haven't seen him lose that often, so to me, this was his most high-profile loss.
I'm going to the chat for this. BJ says, if Hook is on the fence, this story would help make me decide where to go. McKinney, well, BJ, also, we can't, here's my other thing. We also can't act like people haven't been booked well either. Hook hasn't lost that much. To the point to where it's oh no, never again. It's the end. It's like the Jade Cargill stuff where I'm like, dude, Jade Cargill was treated very well here. Let's not act like she was treated like horribly. McKinney says, send Jericho to ROH ASAP. The fans have officially turned. He's not going to be good on TV going forward. The NDA thing and this whole Lionheart run is why we don't like why he changed. Deanne, I think this is the revamp. He's not falling for the banana in the tailpipe like he did with MJF. Gonna go over with Cole and get him. How is Jericho the guy to end the streak? I don't know. Quilly said this is a 6.5 out of 10. Not a fan of this match at all. I rocks with Hook, but at the end of the match, this was complete trash. Jericho, of all people, had no business dethroning Hook. Yeah. Jericho has been compared to the David Bowie of pro wrestling. It's because he would leave and come back as a new album, and he's not doing that. It's hurting him. If anything brought down the grade for this pay-per-view, it was this match. Wasn't feeling it at all. Jericho's going to get his WCW Hogan era. Man, this is Hook's first loss on pay-per-view.
So thank you, Emleezy. That was a streak I was thinking of.
Yeah, people are saying Jericho's one of the greats. Sean, how much do you think it deals with the Kylie Ray stuff? I mean, we really didn't get too deep into it because it's big rumor stuff, but it's like there's no answer to it. Nobody knows the truth. So now you're wondering, like, is this guy really like a jerk, a monster, or?
Well, I want to give us both some credit. I think that's the reason why we haven't delved too much into it, because it's been nothing but rumors that have never, in my opinion, been solidified. We've talked about it, but we haven't talked about it ad nauseum like we have in other situations, because there's been so much more validity to other situations, Gomez, etc. But with this particular situation with Kylie Ray and Jericho, there's so many question marks. So for me, I can only speak for myself. I've kind of glossed over it and just focused on the wrestling. And to me, Chris Jericho is still a tremendous professional wrestler. He's just not what he was years gone by. And the win at Dynasty was kind of an eyebrow raiser for me, and not a good way.
Interesting. Getting into the next match, we have the AEW Women's World Championship match. We have Timeless Toni Storm versus Thunder Rosa. I can't roll my R's like Derek. So this was incredible.
Rosa.
I thought, hit it one more time.
Thunder Rosa.
There we go. Now, in this one, I thought both ladies cut incredible promos before the match. They sold me on this by their promos. The one where Thunder Rosa wipes off her makeup and says, you want some of this? You're going to get some of this. And she came out with no makeup for the match. Timeless Toni Storm got the purple makeup put on her face, the lipstick. And then she cut the promo after that and says that, she makes love with her demons or whatever she said. I was like, that was interesting. I was like, okay, she cut a good promo. And then they went out here and crushed it, I thought. I thought this was a good match.
It was a good match, but also another predictable one. I don't think there's ever been a time where somebody came back to reclaim the title that they lost by forfeit and got it right back, other than Seth Rollins, and he only held it for 5 seconds. So this was a situation. Am I wrong?
No, just sad that you brought that up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just facts can be boring or depressing at times. But but in a situation like this, I didn't think Thunder Rosa would be an exception. I love Thunder Rosa. Shout out to her. She follows me on Instagram and Twitter. But I didn't think that she would come back and just dethrone Toni Storm, and not just not dethrone Toni Storm because of the history of women or men not being able to reclaim the title they lost by forfeit, but also because Toni Storm's on fire right now. And I don't think this title reign is going to end anytime soon. So that's also part of it. And I feel like the right person won.
I won't say soon. This is the difference with the Toni Storm thing. You talked about predictability before. Yes, maybe that was the truth in this matchup, but I don't know where this Toni Storm thing is going. I mean, that there's something with Mariah May, but when is it going to happen? I don't know. Is it going to be when Mariah May challenges, or is it going to be a challenger and Mariah May finally smartens up? We don't know. I haven't seen it yet. Also, props to Luther. Luther was earning his check last night.
Oh, he did his thing. Took that stare shot yesterday. But to your point, you were talking about Adam Cole and the eyes that he had for Wardlow. I think you're saying May have those same eyes for Toni Storm.
And Luther doesn't like Mariah May.
Right.
If you watch Luther's eyes, he's like, don't trust her.
Right.
Let me say it here. So Jericho is what people are saying about J-Lo. I have not seen what people are saying about J-Lo. I don't think I want to know.
Jocelyn, you got to put us on. I don't know that one either.
Yeah. McKinney says, so we're kicking chicks in the taco now to get the win. I definitely in my notes have boot to the coot. So I don't know. I'm just letting you know that's what happened. Pile driver, it went down.
Wow.
What?
Boot to the coot. Wow.
Hey man, listen, that's an old job phrase that we used to have. Like, hey, you got to get up out of here now.
But you know what? When China would take low blows, she would no sell them.
Well, yeah. China's on a new one though. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
Let me get into
rest in peace to China.
Yeah. R.I.P. China. One of the GOATs. Gotta book Rosa against women who aren't afraid to be snug. Where's Camille? We haven't heard where Camille is signed yet. Quills is giving this a 7 out of 10. Was decent. Storm had the usual heel shenanigans, especially towards the end of the match, which cheapens the win. You gotta expect that.
Yeah,
Sorry, McKinney. I thought it was. That's what I say instead of the taco. Sean, this is what I was talking about here. Me and E were talking about this for a second last night. When Sean's right. When Sean tells you guys who's the best, we were talking about like, yo, this is gonna be a match of the year candidate. We told you. And it was. Some people are dubbing this match of the year already. I think we still got plenty of time. It's only April, y'all. It's only April. But we got one here. This one's going to be on the list. What a match. Say what you want, Sean. Say what you want about this.
If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. First of all, big respect to Brian Danielson. He's a tremendous professional wrestler. He's undoubtedly a top 10 performer in this industry in 2024. Will Ospreay is the undisputed best professional wrestler alive today. There is no one, absolutely no one, that is a practitioner of the sport or entertainment product called pro wrestling that does it any better than Will Ospreay. Not Roman Reigns, not Cody Rhodes, not even Bryan Danielson. He is outstanding. His movements, his athleticism, the way his moves come across in the ring, the way he plays to the crowd. He is absolutely the finest practitioner of professional wrestling in the world today. And on April 21st, 2024, he proved it once again. Will Ospreay will not lose a match until he loses. Listen to what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm going to be very clear. Will Ospreay will not lose a match until he loses the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. When that day comes, I don't know. But Will Ospreay will not lose a match in All Elite Wrestling until he loses the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, because he is, and he proved it again, the best wrestler in the world today.
Dude, if you don't see this match, all I can tell you is go see it. This match is stellar. This match is it was the best match on the show.
Best match on the show.
And you know what? This might be the best string of 3 or 4 matches that they've ever put together, because they all crushed after this, shockingly. And when you see who's in the next match, you'll be like, Kyron really said that? Yes. It's an amazing match. Go see it. I don't even want to tell you anything else. It was really dope. And even that little poster they made of it, like that was part of the match with them like running at each other. It was crazy. Go watch that.
I want to say this to be clear about something. They used to say that Shawn Michaels can go out there with a broomstick and have an amazing match, that Ric Flair in his prime could go out there with a broomstick and have an amazing match. Big shout out to Jesse at Pro Wrestling Shoot. We see you, bro. But let's be clear. Daniel Bryan is not a broomstick. Bryan Danielson is a tremendous wrestler. And yes, Will Ospreay can go out there and have a 7.5, 8 match with a broomstick. But the reason why that match was an 11 out of 10, I'm saying it again, an 11 out of 10 last night, is because you had 2 of the top 7 or 8 professional wrestlers in the ring at the same time against each other. And he may be higher than 7 or 8. He may be in the top 5. I haven't thought about it. But one thing I have thought about, and one thing is undisputed, Will Ospreay is the best in the world.
Yeah, I know he made some comments in the scrum about the Triple H comments and saying that he doesn't want to take them back, but he doesn't want to talk about them anymore. Mm-hmm. I respect that. And I thought Will Ospreay held it down and showed why maybe Triple H should have ponied up some more money. Maybe he should have talked to him a little bit more. But Quill says that Ospreay Danielson 10 out of 10, hands down, instant classic match of the year already. It's easy to say that this match saved the show. It was pretty much bland to this point. I don't agree with that, Quills. I thought this was a really good show up until that point. We've only had one match to where I thought you could say it really kind of dragged it down a little bit, which was the Jericho and Hook thing. That depends on how you view it, I thought.
I wouldn't agree. I mean, Quilly, I respect where you're coming from. I think a lot of your points you make are really good. This show was top tier. I'll give my grade in a minute. This show was top tier. Did Will Ospreay and Daniel Bryan blow out everything else that happened on the card? Yes, but the show itself, outside of that, was a B+, A- show in my opinion.
Man, I guess the grade is right here already. We're letting you know just from that match. A-, B+ for me. B+ on the lower end too, if you're really picking that stuff. But I would go A-. If it was like pick one grade, A-.
Yep.
Let's see here. I'm just looking at what people are saying in here. Ospreay in the presser was a class act. I respect it. He said Triple H is the king of cheap shots. He buried everyone for decades. He doesn't need fans capping for him. Be careful. He'll call up his friend Mark and make jokes about that. I still remember that. By the way, Danielson on that Storm Driver 93. Oh, don't do that to me. And stop playing around with people's emotions, Danielson. Luckily, I knew the replay was like, okay, he's all right. Yeah. But when he started doing that I'm hurt stuff, I'm like, don't be playing with us.
Especially with the history of a bad neck.
Yeah, but I think that's the catalyst to Will being soft. And Don Callis was commenting all the mistakes. He nitpicked everything Will did, but loved what Danielson did. Mm-hmm. So I think
maybe Bryan Danielson turns heel because of it.
Or maybe Will's about to get kicked out of the family. We'll see. Tune in to Dynamite. There's a hook for you. I shouldn't be writing it for you, but there it is.
Yeah, tune into EPW with Derek and Conrad. That's going to be a little bit more entertaining than anything else.
My guy, Waka Waka.
All
right. So, Young Bucks, FTR, World Tag Team Ladder match. We knew where this was going. We got Dax bleeding. Cash Harwood. Yo, brother hits perfect moonsaults. I don't know why he's not doing them, but it's a choice. Young Bucks went out and did their thing. I got to give Young Bucks props, bro. And you know I don't like them all like that. I really, really don't. They went out here and did this, and they had interference, and I'm going to let you take over because you said you had some interesting things to say about him. I'm going to pull up some chat comments, but
the Bucks did their thing. FTR did their thing. I think the most appropriate and poignant chant of the night was, please be careful, clap, 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 clap. Please be careful. But I'm going to say something that's going to shock most of the community. Everybody here watching on EPW Clash of the Podcast. 86 weeks we've been doing this in a row, and I think it's going to be the most controversial or the most surprising thing. Jack Perry's return was pretty freaking cool. I know that as Conrad takes off his earpiece and is about to leave the show, for those listening on audio, it was well done. It was well done. Nobody knew he was back. It was rumored, but nobody knew for sure he was back. He hasn't been seen on AEW television since last August. I mean, that's pretty freaking cool. I'm putting everything to the side, the immaturity, the backstage drama. I'm talking about strictly his return during that ladder match last night. It was pretty freaking cool. They did that. It worked. It was a good swerve and a good play on the situation. I'm not mad at it. They made some chicken salad out of some chicken crap last night.
Let me say this then.
Yep.
In hindsight, does this make them showing the video footage work for you? Or no, I'm still not buying into that.
Repeat that one more time, brother.
Does this you said you like Jack Perry's return?
I like Jack Perry's return last night in that match only.
But okay, so the video footage doesn't get a pass now from you.
No, absolutely not.
Okay,
no,
I just wanted to make sure. I had to make sure you were going full blow crazy.
No.
Right.
I thought I was clear, and if I wasn't, I apologize. I'm talking about last night.
I'm elaborating. Okay.
Let me be clear. I'm talking about Jack Perry with the mask and the hoodie, jumping over the guardrail into the ring, pushing over the ladder, and the security revealing that it was him. I liked that, and that only. Only. That's it.
Interesting.
That's it. The video footage, the all-in crap, him talking crap, him wearing special gear for New Japan, talking about how all of it garbage. But him, I'm gonna repeat myself one more time. The act of him jumping over the barricade, jumping into the ring, pushing over the ladder, then pulling off the hood of the mask, and it being Jack Perry, I thought it was well done.
Yeah, I even thought how security tackled him and then pulled the mask off, and then he smiled, and the camera was there perfectly. Like I was like, that's some good production right there to do that.
Right. So I'm cool with that and that alone.
Cool. I guess one more question. We saw what he threw up at the end. He threw up the elite symbol, saying that. Does Jack Perry, is he going to be able to maintain this momentum? I know we're in St. Louis. We were in Chicago before. These are big wrestling towns. Is this going to work in Des Moines, Iowa? Is this going to work in, I'm trying to say somewhere where I won't insult where people are from in our chat. Hold on here. Nebraska. Omaha, Nebraska. Is it going to work there?
The home of Bud Crawford. I don't know. I don't know. It worked last night, and maybe there was a strategic reason why it didn't happen any other. You got to understand, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here. August is how many months ago? September, October, November, January, February, March, April, May. 8 months. 8 months. And now, and Jack Perry's been in other promotions. Like last night was a big surprise. And I would assume after 7-8 months, they had to really think about when the best opportunity would be for him to come back. So maybe it wouldn't have played, to your point, well in other cities. But the point is, a major wrestling city like St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City's the home of, the late, great Harley Race. It worked. Last night worked. Where it will lead from here, I do not know. Right.
Pro Wrestler Shoot, Jesse said, out of respect for Hubs, I'm not going to repeat what I tweeted out, but I still don't care about Bucks or Little Man Perry.
Man, I love you, Jane. I love you, Jesse. I don't know what you could have tweeted. I will be looking back at it to see. Jesse, you're my guy. I don't know. I'm assuming it's something negative towards Jack Perry.
And the Bucks. I think he's just like, nah.
Oh, okay.
I can't blame people for being upset at them either, though. If people are just as mad at Punk who are AEW fans, I see some ridiculous stuff, too, even from high-profile people that I'd love to argue with, but ain't my time, ain't my place to do that right now. Right. So I hear you for it. Someone said pay Punk for the money his actions is bringing you. Good point, Deanna.
Touche,
Good
Deanna.
Point. And I agree with BJ. Now the footage still wasn't needed. I agree with both of you guys. The video package for Brawl Out was definitely foreshadowing. That's true. I'll have to post the tweet, but a girl recorded Jack Perry in the crowd, followed him until he left the ring. I saw that where he went back and forth. Kind of scary for someone who used to do like security work to see someone in the crowd like that. Like I would be watching him instantly because he was doing weird things, but that's just a me thing. Young Bucks FTR 7.5 out of 10. Woo, that's harsh, I think. I had a feeling the Bucks would win. We allowed it, but all because of Jack Perry. I understand the story behind it, but it wasn't the time. They were going to rock with that, though. They had to.
And they had to. And looking back, hindsight being 2020, maybe that's the reason they pulled out the video footage. In poor taste, right? but maybe that's the reason they pulled out the video footage.
I'm sure that's what Tony's going to say, no matter what, but the timing of it seems weird. The J-Lo reference of Jericho is how there are constant videos of how evil she is in real life. I have not seen these.
Okay.
I have not seen these.
Neither have I, but I'll be looking, Jocelyn.
That's not Jenny from the block. What's happened here? What's going on? What does work in Omaha, Nebraska? Come on, Beach. Come on,
Terrence Bud Crawford, the best welterweight boxer in the world. That's about it.
Respect Jack Perry. Come on now.
I respect what he did last night. I don't respect. He has a long way to go to earn my respect as a man because he's done some real PG show. He's done some real iffy things, bro. That I'll probably like. He's done some real iffy things that would make it very difficult for me to call him a man.
McKinney says you want to capitalize on Jack Perry's momentum. Have him get a title shot against Mark Briscoe and have the Elite join the Elite. I don't know if I do that yet. See, that's where I think he's going to get into trouble. Depending on who are you going to have him beat and who would you have him lose to? Where does the buck stop? But we'll see. Yeah. Let's see here. This was a darn good ladder match. Also, y'all saw Perry, the new scapegoat AEW shirt with the broken glass. Yeah, har. We'll see. We'll see if it lasts, man. That's all I can say. We'll see if it lasts. Let's get into this main event real quick, and then we'll wrap this up. I'm sure the replay is available on Triller if you guys still want to go back and watch it. But Samoa Joe, Swerve Strickland. Swerve coming out in a Black Panther-inspired gear, and Prince Nana coming out with the Jimmy Rave robe for old school Ring of Honor fans. Shook me up a little bit. Like, I was like, oh, man, that's crazy. And I love Swerve's attire. I love the intro music for it. Shout out to Mikey Ruckus, who said he did that 55 minutes before the pay-per-view started. He got that, and he is a super, super talented dude. He is their Jim Johnston. I'm going to say that now for how many times he's tweeted, like, they said they needed this music in, like, 2 days or 1 day, and he's done. Made it. Here you go. Check it out. This match meant a lot more, I think, to a lot of people. I'm glad JR was out there for the call. JR didn't play it like he did Ron Simmons winning the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. JR played it cool. And Swerve said something interesting on it. In the media scrum, he said, progress is seeing something happen in shorter time frames. Kofi just won the WWE World title. Big deal to people of color, right? It happened, and now he's like, yeah, but now I'm the world champion in AEW. The 8th world champion in AEW was black. I love it. It was great. Swerve deserves this. I may be a little biased. I'm cool with some of Swerve's friends who do music with them. You can say whatever you want about it. Swerve winning this was earned and well-deserved. If you've watched him since Killshot, since Shane Strickland, I think he deserved this. Hubs, I'm kicking it back to you, man, to say whatever you got to on this one.
Historic moment for the black community, but also a historic moment for the wrestling community. I think there were some amazing support that was shown by all races last night. I saw white people cheering. I saw black people cheering. I saw Spanish people cheering. I saw everybody cheering. It was a feel-good moment. It was amazing. But of course, we have to talk about the significance in African-American wrestling history. I mean, this is for Ron Simmons. This is for Kofi Kingston. This is for, more importantly, people who didn't get a chance to be world champion that deserve to be world champion, who are black men. So I love it. I think it was well done. And to your point, Conrad, I think it's very important to note that it was deserved. It wasn't given to him. Swerve Strickland has worked so diligently and so hard to be a megastar in this industry. And I think even more, and chat, fill me on this, Conrad, fill me on this, hopefully, even more than him winning the world title last night, which obviously is monumental, we saw who Swerve Strickland was when he left Hit Row in WWE. Hit Row disintegrated in its popularity and in its, I guess you could say, its marketability when Swerve Strickland went off the scene. And he took AEW by storm. And here we stand, April 22nd, with this man as our world champion. I say our, I mean wrestling community's world champion. I absolutely love it, and I hope we see more of it.
Respect, man. I love that the chat showing love. Quill said this was 9 out of 10 for him. Very good match. Joe controlled the match, and then Swerve controlled the match, and most importantly, the right man won the match. Congrats to Swerve Strickland. M. Leezy. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Jump in.
I was going to say, AEW pulled the trigger last night, as it should have. I think it was like if Swerve doesn't win, we riot kind of a deal. But I just feel WWE is just so hesitant to make those kind of decisions. Thank God. I say this every day, man. Thank God that we got Kofi Mania, because Kofi Mania was not supposed to be a thing. You know what I'm trying to say? So thank God they pulled the trigger on that. Thank God Big E got his opportunity. I mean, we also have to give respect and shout outs to people like Bobby Lashley as well. Booker T. Big E. But last night felt different. Last night, I think I put the Swerve victory on the same level as I put Kofi. Kofi winning the world title in WWE at 35, WrestleMania 35, I mean. To me, as much as I have so much appreciation for Big E, Lashley, Booker T, that win that Kofi got at WrestleMania 35 felt like it was for the culture. Like, there was an outpouring of thank God that Daniel Bryan didn't win that match. I felt the same thing last night with Samoa Joe. I felt like Samoa Joe, and I love Samoa Joe, by the way. Big ups to him. It was like, Swerve has to win this match. Like, there's no way Swerve can walk out. Like, one thing that was a nightmare to me that I thought it would have been a nightmare. One thing that kept coming into my head, what if Adam Page comes back and
ruins the
Swerve's
match?
Yeah, I was like, because to me, that's what I was worried about. The whole day, I didn't even want to speak it out of my mouth. I was like, what if Adam Page comes back and screws Swerve Strickland? But thank God, they did the right thing. They did the right thing.
Shout out to Mark Henry, too. I was part of when he finally won the World Heavyweight Championship.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Montezi, Rich Latta from One Nation Radio. Like, I appreciate you, brothers, man. I saw you guys taking pictures with Swerve with the belt. You guys look like proud brothers, so I was happy for it, man. Hit Row was done when Swerve left. I agree. They lost who the superstar could have been out of the group is the issue. Swerve got to defend that Rolling Loud. Swerve's going to be the guy, I think, for a little bit here. I'm interested to see what they do with him. Here's the thing, and I didn't put this in here. Me and Sean already said A- for the shows. Y'all feel however you want to feel. You put your grades in there. I'll look at them. Tony Khan has something unique on his hands now. You have a main event scene. This is the thing that you have to figure out how to do. You have to figure out how to place people in that scene and take people in and out of that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Swerve needs to stay in that scene. Even after he loses this title, Swerve is one of your top main eventers now. You've got other people in there. You got Ospreay. You got Danielson. You got Moxley. You got, I'm trying to think, Joe is still in there right now. Who else anyone else am I missing, Sean, that are legit main eventers for them?
Legit main eventers.
Hangman, I guess you could throw in there.
Hangman, Moxley.
Omega. Like, you got to build with these guys and get some unique matchups from it. So, Tony, I say focus on that for your main event scene. Focus on who's going to be in that TNT, International, all those title pictures. And you got 2 even distinct for the women's divisions. Figure that out. Tag division, trios division. You got a lot to figure out. Place people in the right spots. Put people where you need them, brother. That's all I'm saying.
Well said.
Yeah. And I love all the love that's being shown in here for Kofi Mania and anything else. BJ said, hey, I don't want to hate on Hit Row. AJ Francis is help making Joe Hendry a bigger star right now. Say his name and he appears. No, I think AJ Francis is doing a good job in TNA. Honestly.
He is.
For Dynamite, what's coming up? We got John Moxley, Powerhouse Hobbs. I just put up the link for the Dynamite show. Put that together today. Me and Derek will be there. It's going to be happening in Daly's place, Jacksonville, Florida. If you're wondering why, there's a big draft coming up. So that's why that'll probably be happening out there, because Tony ain't trying to go too far because he's got to be in the war room to try and figure out what free agents we could do in trades and stuff like that, because he works for them too. Someone said free Jay White. Let's see what they do with Jay White. I hope that they don't keep him in that report that TK has All In card in mind after the weekend, and we are going to get Swerve versus Ospreay, or do we wait? I think that's the All In main event.
It has to be. I love Swerve. Swerve got his moment. Swerve is the man. But you know that it doesn't take away from my love for Swerve. But if we get Ospreay versus Swerve, you know what's going to happen.
You're going to have to rock with it.
Yep.
And don't forget, you got other people coming back, MJF as well. Let's transition into some WWE talk, everybody. Shaw, what do you want to tackle first here? The releases or the draft?
We can talk about the releases and then just kind of transition into the draft.
Okay. Real quick, so we found out all the releases today. We had Jinder Mahal and the team of Indushir. I was very sad to see them. They were very upset, Sean, about like they felt used kind of.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
Into that the market, the Indian market where they are from, and
I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I think that's exactly what happened.
They told people to boycott them, basically. Like, don't. If you're from India, don't show them no love. So that could backfire.
I don't believe in coincidences, bro. In life, I don't believe in coincidences. Things are strategically done in life.
Do you believe the reason that these are budget cuts?
I mean, a budget cut's kind of a cap out or a cop out, because you're always saving money when you cut somebody, right? So you could always use that as a legitimate excuse. Is that the real excuse? I don't know. I'm not a mind reader, but I think they were 100% used in this situation.
Let me ask you this. Do you think WWE is going to be cutting people too quickly, though? Like, AEW just did the same thing, too. And, like, Tony Khan disgusted me saying, like, that he paid money for a theme for Mark Briscoe, but then it cost the salary of a wrestler, 1 year's salary for a wrestler. And I was like, well, you just released 10 people. What? You could have just not bought that song, had him come out to his regular music. You could have saved someone's job, is what you're telling me?
And that sounds terrible. That sounds terrible.
It's just he wasn't thinking about what he was saying. And then people put two and two together because wrestling fans are better than FBI agents. Like I'm telling you, they're like, hey.
It's a tough thing. I mean, Xia Li, she's a tremendous wrestling talent. I never give WWE excuses. I'm one of their biggest critics, but I will say that I feel like Xia Li kind of was the odd woman out. You know, I don't. Maybe they just didn't have anything for her. You got to remember, the WWE Women's Division is stacked. I mean, they have a lot of talent. I mean, Rhea just went down, so I guess there's a spot left. But I mean, maybe they just felt like she wasn't going to fit in. I'm not happy about that release either because I think she's very good.
Yeah, it's tough out here for a lot of people, man. When it comes down to it, I don't know, man. I just it never feels good to see people release Zion Quinn. Like,
yeah, it's a tough thing, and that's even tougher because he's in NXT, never got his chance to make it up to the main roster. It's always tough when you make it. Like I always talk about this in the baseball realm. You know, if you don't make it to the show when you're a minor league player, you almost feel like you wasted your career. You know what I'm trying to say? Like it's like, you know, you work your whole life to get to the doorstep of WWE or the doorstep, to use my analogy, of Major League Baseball, and you don't make it. That's the reason, by the way, just to transition a little bit, that's the reason by the way, when people come up, that they decide to play basketball or football, because there are no minor leagues in basketball or football. And in Major League Baseball, you have to go through at least a year or two in the minor leagues. And God forbid you get hurt. God forbid things don't work out. But to keep it on track of this conversation, him getting cut is hard because he was only in NXT and never got his chance to make it to the big time. So it's a tough thing all the way around.
Yeah, another one that I was kind of surprised by, Von Wagner got the cut. And it makes me worry for the former Robbie E., who was his manager, because who's he going to manage or what purpose will he serve moving forward? But
Bobby, I mean, obviously, you know, Sensational Sherry's not going to have a meal ticket because the Macho King doesn't have a job anymore. Same thing, right? I mean, I don't know.
WrestleMania 7.
Yeah,
as soon as you said it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen to Robbie E. I mean, it's hard because it's like when you're linked to a competitor, that competitor no longer is there. The only person I could think of that was able to survive something like that is B-Fab.
Survive which portion?
Their major tag team partner or their major act that they manage leaving the company. Meanwhile, they stay and somehow find their way on their own.
Yeah, B-Fab's definitely doing it. What happened to that tag team with Cedric Alexander and Ashante Adonis?
Well, sure. I mean, touche. They're both still in the company too, but I'm talking about I'm kind of
no. When you said that, I just thought of him. Like, what happened to that team they were doing?
Technically, they still have jobs. I mean, maybe they're probably on speed. Honestly,
could be. Yeah, I think I did see one of them on speed. Maybe it was Cedric one time, but interesting. I'm going to the chat here. E said Vince used them. Triple H wasn't about that. No, I don't believe in budget cuts when you're making billions. The Pro Wrestler Shoe says they were Vince hires. They honestly don't fit the mold to where WWE looks to be going.
That's a fair perspective.
But they cut people they had no use for and couldn't place, minus Von Wagner. He was being used a lot. Yeah, that's weird, the Von Wagner one. Can't believe that one dude had a Disney documentary on him and WWE never used it. Tony at Excalibur would wear that out. Xia Li to Stardom. I don't know. Xia Li's underrated. Wasn't given a chance. I feel I would have sent her to NXT. Xia Li, I think a lot of these people are good fits for TNA.
Yeah.
Especially gender in them. I think they would get over really big in TNA. They also have some other acts that they could pair them with if they're still on the roster. I think they are. And I think you could do something or even have a feud there. And that's money. And that's a market that you can get into. And that's TNA's market now.
Yes, sir.
Get that money. I'm just looking to see here. No more Come Tuesdays. No more of that. The India market thing was all Gomez because Triple H was using Sanga and NXT and building his character. So I think they got misused, but it was by another administrator. But I know. Hub, you on timeout? You said I don't know what you said.
What did I say? Okay.
So speaking of these releases, what do we do with the draft, Sean?
Hashtag what draft?
Yo, listen, I'm going to be a good boy going into this. I'm going to go in with optimism. I'm going to not say what draft. Hashtag what ranking system also when Mercedes Moné is getting title shots on her first match.
Yep.
But get rid of the ranking system. At this point, I don't even know if we should say get rid of the draft because we have the tag belts are split up now. Not a big fan of that.
I am. We disagree on that one.
I don't like two sets of tag titles, but that's just me.
Well, technically, it's supposed to be two different shows. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I love, by the way, the new WWE Tag Team Championships.
Yo, I had a picture of these up earlier, and now I'm going to look for them. But go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the new World Tag Team titles on Raw are cool, but the WWE Tag Team titles on SmackDown are absolutely amazing. They remind me of the old school WWE Tag Team Championships. We'll see. NXT is involved this year. Big shout out to Ava, man. Like, if you want to call nepotism as a thing because she's The Rock's daughter, whatever. But I think she's doing a good job as NXT general manager, the youngest general manager in WWE history. But she's doing her thing. So now it's kind of like, man, like, let's just stick to the draft. If you stick to the draft is a great thing. But if you don't, it's pointless. And that's how it's been for many, many years. So I'm hoping they stick to it. I'm hoping some NXT talent get a legitimate opportunity. There's no way that Trick and Carmelo should not be drafted. They should 100% be drafted. I'm looking for that to happen. And I'm also looking, beautiful tag team titles, by the way. And I'm looking for them to do something with some major crossovers. I think Roman Reigns should be drafted to Raw. I think that Cody Rhodes should be obviously drafted to SmackDown. Let's shake it up for real, man.
How do you feel about the free agent aspect? Like, do you guys think that free agents should be like that float? Like, for Roman, if he's your big draw, then let him float.
I think that was stupid from day one. The very first draft they ever did in 2002, Stone Cold was a free agent. Why? Brock Lesnar's been a free agent. Why? I don't like it. If it's a draft, it's a draft. If you don't want him to move, then just don't draft him.
Right, I think they want to have their cake and eat it too. It's like
that's what it is.
Double dip. Let's look at this. Who would you move from the main roster down to NXT? Who needs a little bit of a reset or a kind of protect them for a little bit here?
Chelsea Green.
It's Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea Green needs a little bit of a reboot. I think her going down and fighting for the women's championship down there would be beneficial for her career. I think that wow, this is going to suck because I think he's doing really well, but at the same time, I think going down to NXT would help him. Honestly, I think that Cameron Grimes should go back.
I agree. Cameron Grimes and Nakamura were my 2 picks.
Yeah, I mean, there you go.
Call Baron Corbin back up, and I like your pick of Chelsea Green. And I've been trying to figure out if there's one more person who could go back down to NXT. Maybe you could find a way to like get Carmella back. I don't know if she's ready to come back. There's got to be some other people in there.
Yeah, give these well, I want to say young, but give these people who are not doing the greatest on the main roster an opportunity to go down there and do their thing. Like, I think the best thing to happen to Baron Corbin was going to NXT.
Man, someone said Finn just said on Twitter after 10 years he ain't going nowhere, so he must have just signed.
Okay.
Or did something. I don't know. The WWE Draft will have botches and buffoonery like always, so I'm in my hollow to Don mode right now.
Like always, Quilly.
I think they're finally going to get a brand split, but they will be treated as trades and loans from other shows that will be explained as to why someone is on another show and make it for more excitement.
Right.
Okay. Matt Lopez says send Tegan Knox to NXT. That's another interesting name.
And send Natalia to NXT as well. I think that she needs to be down there as well.
I feel like she's always down there. She always pops up and does something. Yeah. And you know what? I think we also don't call up the NXT Women's Champion. I think Ilya and Carmelo Hayes is enough. Like, they don't need anything else. You just took 2 big people from them. And now I think Trick Williams will be the star of NXT along with Roxanne Perez. So
yes.
What about the family? What about the family? Do you call them up?
I don't think they're ready for the main roster.
No, even Tony D'Angelo? I think Tony's ready, but I don't think the rest of his crew is. But
Tony D'Angelo is really good. I just don't think he's ready for the main roster. Not yet. I think he needs a little bit more polishing.
And I know we have this as another subject, but the women's tag titles. I think it's time for us to do the right thing here with these tag belts and get the proper reset that they need as well.
Well, we talked about this during the week. Jade, Cargill, and Naomi have put themselves in a position to really make these women's tag team titles relevant for the first time since Bayley and Sasha Banks, and then Sasha Banks and Naomi. This team, I think, could revolutionize the women's tag team division and make those titles mean something once again. I like the Kabuki Warriors. I don't love them. You put them in the ring, though, with these 2 young, beautiful, outstanding women, and I think you put the Women's Tag Team Championship back on the map. I never had a problem with the Women's Tag Team titles. I just didn't like the way they were being used. This team of Cargill and Belair would make those Tag Team Championships raise up to a much higher and much more appreciated level.
I am in full agreement with that. I do want to go back to these tag titles again, though, just because I like putting them on the screen. So which ones do you prefer? So you saw the Raw ones. What were your initial thoughts last week? Like, you see them, boom, these are the new belts.
Well, when I first saw the Raw Tag Team Championships, I said they're better than the red coin silver joints, so I'm cool with it. But then on Friday night, I saw the new WWE Tag Team Championship, and I said, holy crap.
Here comes the
Here
comes the smash.
I nostalgia, happiness, joy, reminiscing. I mean, those belts look almost exactly like the old school tag belts, and I love them. I absolutely love them.
I agree. It's just a great throwback. Do they need to change any more belts in your opinion?
Oh, yeah, the Intercontinental Championship is horrible.
What about the WWE? Do you keep that or no?
I actually think the gold WWE belt that Cody has now is fine. I mean, I would never have a problem with them bringing back the Winged Eagle. You know, you would never get a complaint out of me for that. But I think the current gold on gold world championship that Cody Rhodes has is perfectly fine. But again, I mean, if you said to me tomorrow they're going to bring back the Winged Eagle, I wouldn't argue with you about it.
But you think the IC needs some type of redesign?
Well, I think the IC title is horrible looking. When they debuted that, the Ultimate Warrior, dashing Cody Rhodes, Mr. Perfect, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels Intercontinental belt is absolutely gorgeous. They never should have changed it to begin with.
Okay. Okay, fair. E giving the lyrics to Demolition where we stopped.
Yeah, there you go.
Matt agrees with you about the IC title. He also agrees with you about the Winged Eagle he put. Lovely.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about some of the most iconic championships of all time. See, the problem with professional wrestling, especially World Wrestling Entertainment, is that they feel like they need to change something just because they need to change something. The Winged Eagle never needed to change. The Intercontinental belt never needed to change. The tag belts never needed to change. Like, it just wasn't necessary. So to me, they fixed the wrong. They righted the wrong with the tag belts. Right the wrong with the IC belt too. That IC belt is terrible looking. Some people like it. That Gunther belt is terrible. Terrible.
I'm not a fan. It reminds me of the old purple. I call it the egg Intercontinental title, like with the little oval shape.
Yeah,
I don't hate it. I just don't like it either. I'm just like, oh, dude, bring back. I love the classic Intercontinental title on the white strap, the one that Cody, Ziggler, Miz, and all those guys held. Give me that one back all day, every day. Love it. Let's run down, I guess, what we got in store for Raw here tonight. Got ourselves a little tag title match. Yeah. Sorry, they still have the old belts in the pictures. I don't think they've updated their graphics yet. But Awesome Truth versus hashtag DIY. Why are you a tag team if you're going to do it yourself? I don't get it.
Oh, my goodness.
No, you know I'm a DIY fan, so listen.
Oh, that was funny, though.
I try. Yo, by the way, if you guys thought, the most hated people, we talked about how bad people don't like Jericho. Sean, I know that you have to be up here with me on this, bro. The most hated people this weekend have to be Def Rebel. What did these guys do to people that made them so mad? I saw petitions to get them removed. They were doing remixes of themes and making them way worse than they ever were before.
They were.
It was just bad, man. But do you see new tag team champs tonight by any chance on Raw? Like, do you see DIY taking it? What? Hold on, I'm coming back to you. What?
I do. I love R-Truth. I like The Miz. I have infinite respect for The Miz. And I have a lot of respect and appreciation for R-Truth as well. But I think this is another Zack Ryder moment. I think they won because they deserve to have a WrestleMania moment, especially R-Truth. Ron Killings, but they lose the belts tonight. DIY are going to become the new World Tag Team Champions.
Respect. Also tonight we have the return of the in-ring General, Gunther.
It'll be interesting to see what he has to say. It looks like it's probably going to end up being an interview segment. It'll be nice to see what his plans are after that 600-plus day reign as champion. I'm assuming he's going to probably try to invoke his rematch clause, which could take place at Backlash. That's kind of my prediction at this point, that it's going to be a rematch at Backlash, him and Sami Zayn. But then again, I'm a little bit torn because we have a situation where we have the situation going on with Sami Zayn and Gable. So I don't know if that's how it plays out. But Gunther is definitely going to talk about reclaiming his championship. And I think he's going to be unsuccessful in that journey because I think he's going to win the 2025 Royal Rumble.
Yeah, or I could see him getting into like one of those upper mid-card feuds. This is where like your Eddie Guerreros would come into play before he became world champ, or He Who We Shall Not Speak Of. Those were the perfect guys that Jericho put them in there with one of them and then let him go to work.
I think at this point the Intercontinental Championship is beneath him. I think you're looking at him being World Heavyweight Champion. I would love to see Gunther and Jey Uso fight for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 25. WrestleMania in 2025, WrestleMania 41.
Jey Uso is the number one contender on Raw currently for the World Heavyweight Championship. And speaking of that, we have a battle royal tonight. Who is crowned the new Women's World Champion?
Nia Jax.
Nia Jax. Some people are saying it should be Liv. I've seen some people say give it to Shayna out of a surprise. Yeah, you can rebuild her up, but
I'm going to start singing my same song that I always sing, predictability. Liv would be the predictable choice. I just don't think that she should be in that position right now. She's very talented, and she's gotten herself over. I see Prince Rockstar, Becky Lynch. I don't like it. at this stage. I think Nia Jax, and believe me, nobody's been more critical of Nia Jax than me. And no, I'm not giving her a break because she just got baptized. God bless her. I'm saying this because Nia Jax has improved. I think she still has some work to do on that bonsai drop to make sure that her opponent is safe. But I think she's earned it. I think she's kind of come full circle, and I think she wins the Battle Royal.
Interesting. Pro Wrestler Shoot, we're going to get into some comments here. Sheamus is back. Yes. And shame on anybody who was talking about his body as he made his return. How dare they?
Right.
As a belt guy, Pro Wrestler Shoot says the Raw tag titles look better. I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that, but here's the thing.
I will say the Raw splash of color makes it nice. And if they ever unify them, I would want them to do like the old colors that were on the old WWF titles, basically.
Right. To Jesse's point, the upgrade in Raw Tag Team Championships is clear. Both belts are better than both old belts. 100%.
Anything better than them nickels?
Yes.
And you know what? I said them nickels were better than them pennies, so we're moving up.
So we're good. The issue I have is that I am just so in love with the old WWF Tag Team Championships that the fact that the WWE tag belts look like them, I'll never give the World Tag Team titles on Raw the nod because I'm in love with those belts. Like that to me, that's the great. I never told you this, Conrad. Outside of Big Gold, WCW, the WWF World Tag Team Championships from the 80s and 90s are my favorite belt ever.
Oh, dude, my favorite belt was the Intercontinental title. When I was a kid, I used to imagine having that belt, not the world title. I was like, no, I want to be the Intercontinental Champion.
Right.
Uh-oh, who's that calling?
I'm
about to get booked.
No, man.
I'm about to be the champ. Say that.
The future wife was on the phone, but she forgot I was recording.
All good. Shout out to future wife.
Yes.
Easy E says, any game news? Fight Forever 2K, new DLC. I know 2K's got some new DLC coming in May, and Fight Forever also has some new DLC. And now Samoa Joe's going to be dropping May 8th for Fight Forever, and a new arena from Japan. So check that out as well.
I got a hot take on video games, by the way, on AEW and WWE. I'm not a huge fan of these delayed DLCs. And I know I might be in the minority on that. The last WWE DLC, if I'm not mistaken, Jesse and James correct me if I'm wrong, Conrad correct me if I'm wrong, is going to be in November. That's a long time. Like, to me, it's like, by the summer, it should be a wrap. And I feel the same thing. I feel like AEW's dragging it. I feel like WWE's dragging it. Like, it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I just hope that those people that they add in at the end will just be included in the next game. But
okay.
We'll see. BJ said they made trash teams are getting called out for it. Please bring back CFOs, please. New tag team champs. Let's go Triple H and HBK. The tag team titles remind me of the Attitude Era of old. I feel you, Mike. Def Rebel sucks. Sorry. Rehire Jim Johnson and give them his flowers, Triple H. Respect for the mix. What a laugh. He's a glorified mid-carder that people hype up because he can do halfway decent. Oh, the Miz, I think that's supposed to be. Yeah, Miz is rough to get into these days, I'll say, just because of his win-loss record. Like, I just can't. I'm like, you're going to lose, bro.
I mean, what was his name? Zach?
Yeah.
What a laugh. I don't think it's laughable that you respect the Miz. The Miz has been in the company for over a decade or longer. Like,
he wasn't even supposed to make it this far.
And he main evented and won WrestleMania. Like, I mean, to laugh at the Miz, I think is silly. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully.
And he got Maurice. Miz is winning, bro. He don't care about nothing.
100.
Gunther should be in the world title picture. I agree with that. People are agreeing with Matt. We're looking at Becky Lynch. Can Gunther go overseas? McKinney brings up. I thought he was on travel ban until his citizenship clears. I think he's good now. There was a time frame on it.
I think that time is come and gone. I think he's straight now.
Look at this. We got Nia Jax being said. Liv Morgan. Too many limes. Too many limes. If I had the pencil, it would be Shayna. Get her to choke out spree until Liv versus Nia happens, then drop it to one of them. Someone said Bailey shows up and wins. Could be.
Bailey double champion?
Could be. I think everyone would have to be in if there's a draft next week.
Okay.
BJ, this does not add to your reign because no one else has taken the championship yet. So, Fight Forever gets a second game, I hear. I have not heard that to be confirmed. If you have anything, please send it over. My stuff is down below, and so is Sean's.
Yes.
So give us a follow. CM Punk's in 2K soon, I hear. Yes. I think 2K has plans for extra DLC, Pro Wrestling Shoot says. I don't know if he's speculating. Maybe I don't know. But I trust Jesse's word over anyone else's in here about some 2K stuff.
I mean, he's an aficionado.
Let's see here. That TV title that Iron held with the red strap, somebody said was their favorite. The silver one. I remember that. One of the greatest IC champs of all time, aka The Miz. BJ's in here. We might have to get BJ on the show one day and just do like greatest Intercontinental champ talk one day.
There you go. I'm down for that.
He confirmed speculation. Gotta disagree. I just don't give out respect just because people have been around and sticking. Bro, well, Zach, let me say this.
He's accomplished a lot, Zach.
Zach, he was forced to change in and out of broom closets because they kicked him out of the locker room for eating chicken over someone's bag. And he said he didn't even spill it or anything. And they were just being jerks and bullies to him. Listen. I got to give it up to The Miz, and I'm not like I'm not Miz's number one fan. I'll say that as well. But hey, you got to show some love, man.
My thing is this: anybody who can get, and is my opinion the be all and end all, no. But anybody that can get me to give respect to The Miz turned a lot. I don't like The Miz to this day. I don't like The Miz, but I respect him. And The Miz to me is a first ballot Hall of Famer. The Miz to me is as mid can get, but he made it work. He worked hard, and I'll never ever discount. Like, to me, The Miz is the first ballot. His body of work, Zach, not just his longevity, his body of work. He's a multiple-time tag champion. Probably the outside of Jericho has had more Intercontinental rings than anybody. He's a 2-time WWE World Champion. He's a WrestleMania main event winner. Like, come on, bro. Money in the Bank.
Twice, technically.
There you go.
Yeah. And listen, I'm not saying Zach's wrong for having his opinion about him. I'm just saying I got to give it up.
He's entitled to it, man. Of course. Believe me, I'm the last person that will defend Mike the Miz Mizanin, but he's earned it.
Facts. Sean, we got 5 minutes here before Raw. We got Knicks games coming up. Take us out of here, brother.
Yeah, man, this was a great show as usual. Appreciate everything you guys have been doing, bringing the heat in the chat. Conrad, you're the man. I'm gonna take off my glasses for this because the game has already started, so we're gonna see what happens. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. Didn't really get into my guy main event, Jay Uso, but he is the number one contender coming up at Backlash. We're gonna have a full preview of that coming up in a couple weeks. Next week we'll review the draft, or the first week of the draft, I should say. The first night of the draft, because it's going to be Friday night, the first night, and then Monday will be the following. So we'll bring you a review of night 1 of the draft and a preview of day 2 of the draft. So make sure that you're ready for that. As always, make sure you tune in right here to the EPW channel as my guy Derek and Conrad Cushman bring you the best AEW review in the land every Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Go to Hubbard Wrestling Weekly and subscribe, and make sure you click those notifications for this summer coming up. We have the exclusive Clash of the Podcast Money in the Bank review, as well as the exclusive Clash of the Podcast SummerSlam review specials coming up on Hubbard Wrestling Weekly. We appreciate you guys, and let's go Knicks. So on behalf of my good friend and brother Conrad Cushman, my name is Sean Hubbard. Hubbard Wrestling Weekly is here, EPW is here, and we collectively are Clash of the Podcast. Be encouraged, God bless, and remember, as always, evil never prevails.